There is a shelter. There is a shelter that you need to know about. A shelter is very important. A shelter is like a house. A house is a shelter. We learn in school that basic needs, one of the basic needs, one of them is a shelter. When it's too hot, we run to the shade as a shelter. When it's raining, we run to a shelter. We run to our home, if we are near the home, for shelter from the rain. When there is thunderstorm, we run to a shelter, or you can call it a house. In primary school, we were taught that a shelter or a house is one of the basic needs that we cannot live without. This is an encouragement, an inspiration message that there is another ultimate basic need, shelter, that completely shelters not from the sun we see, but the sun of life, the heat of life. Do you know why people commit suicide? Because they feel the shelter is not there. They reach their end. Do you know why people attack others, and some have been life in prison or 5 years in prison, 10 years, because they hit people on did bad things to people or attacked them because they didn't give them a shelter. I saw somebody wrote on the social media that most people connect to you to get a shade when they are going through heat of life, and when the heat is gone, they dump you. Believe me, not everyone can do that, but believe me, you have seen such people. Maybe they have come to your life, or you have seen somebody was misused and dumped. Somebody wrote in the social media, we are in the time where God has opened the world, where we get encouragement from people all over the world, and you are built. Somebody saying in the social media that people hook to you, some people, when they have a lot of heat of life. You consider this. A long time you used to go and live in Nairobi, for example, or city, in the city, great city. You live in your auntie house till you get a job. You stay there, you don't have a place to live, you don't have money to pay the house, you don't have ability to sustain yourself in the city. Remember, you used to run in primary school about rural-urban migration. People migrate from rural or country to town to look for a job. And most time, we don't have money to keep us there. We go live in our auntie house, who has able to live to keep your uncle. So you submit, and even washing all their clothes, and you submit. And when some people got job, they change themselves. And you wonder, and they start saying, is this the same person? And they become very stunning, and it cannot be told anything. And they don't get along, or even they go away. That is what somebody wrote in the social media. People like those people, when people are moving long time from rural area to urban area, they are looking for a shade. We need a job. I need money. I need a job. So I can have my own house. There is a heat of life going through them. So they hide in you until they get that shade. And when the shade comes and the heat that's going through it go, they dump you. So people do such things because that's just an analogy example, but there is a time people even they want you to give them heaven. You give them heaven, but there is a heaven that we get from a shelter, and this shelter, we need to hear it. The Bible saying John 4:14 that if you get this shelter, you will never lack, you never thirst, you never feel that you need another shelter. So as we keep going, we are saying that in primary school we are taught that a shelter or a house is one of the basic needs that we cannot live without. We also have another shelter we learn to during the hotness of life and heat of life. We learn to, and we are sheltered from the heat of hopelessness, stress, suicidal thoughts. I repeat, we also have another, apart from the shelter we used to run in primary school and secondary, that one of the basic needs is food, shelter, and water. But there is a shelter. You are there. When you finish school, you get heat of life. You hear somebody is stressed, is depressed. somebody committed suicide because the heat is so much, he cannot withstand. There's a song that says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. We run to it and we are saved. There is somewhere you can run to. You cry, you shed tears, and that fulfillment, that peace come. That is the shelter we are talking about. Keep listening to hear exactly what the Holy Spirit is saying and the word of God coming to you through Jesus' shelter. That we also have another shelter we run to, that when hotness of life and heat of life, hotness of life can, for example, somebody cheated you and said, oh, I love you, I want you to marry me, and she want to marry you, or he want to be married to you because you're in America. When he reach there, he dump you and he leave you, and you feel hopeless because you're expecting to have a family. You are a family person. That is one of the heat of life many people encounter, especially saints. The enemy hook you to wrong person to dump, to make you fall in your Christianity. So that is an example of heat of life. So then such people, sometimes they overwhelm, they resort to drinking, alcoholism, to try to hook another shelter. How can I get rid of this heat? They resort to drink, immorality. So others feel like suicidal thought. But there is a shelter we run to. This John, the Bible saying, John 4:14, that this water I give, by obeying me, relying on me, you will never thirst. You will never feel unfulfilled. You will never feel hopeless, even if you are going through tough time, even if you are connected to a fake person and dump you. He cheated you in business, in marriage. You don't feel like going down. You don't feel like you can go. Many people resort to alcoholism, look, because of stress they are going through. Not everyone, but some people do. You wonder, this person is drinking alcohol after alcohol. He sleep. So there's some people used to see in my country, they spend time, they live in the club, they live there, they wake up there. You wonder why. I saw somebody who lost a very good job in Kenya, and then he used to live in a club. He was trying to hide himself, to hide the shelter, the heat was going for of life. He lost a good job he was working. He used to live in the club where people drinking beer after beer, try to hide and escape from reality. But there is a shelter around you that you not feel that heat. And that shelter is Jesus. He's saying John 4:14 that if you rely on me, you will never thirst. He's saying Psalm 1:2-3 that and Jeremiah 17:7-8 that if you rely on God, obey God, every morning you wake up, you pray to God. Every day you rely on God, you wake up 3 a.m. to pray, you listen to the song, you hide in Jesus. You will never be ashamed. You will never feel unfulfilled. You'll be like a tree planted by the riverside. The tree planted over the river, a river that never dry, is always green. A tree is always green. The tree is always green. The tree that is planted on the riverside, it is always green. It is always has green leaf. It always keep growing and have life. Whether it's dry season, it's hot season, that tree is always greener. That's what the Bible says in Psalm 1:2-3 and Jeremiah 17:7-8. That you always feel, you will always be like a tree, always tapping water that is from the river that never dry. Even during the hot season, you feel life is meaning, it has meaning, have purpose. You feel you have energy to cook your food. You have motivation to work with your own heart, to pray for your children, to cook food, to clean your house, to wash dishes, to advise us, to empower others, to encourage others with your gift, and keep working. You don't feel hopeless. You don't feel wrong mood. You don't feel hopeless. So let us read this point before this video go very long, because we don't want it to go very long. So there's a point I had written here, and we are saying, we are in number 5, we are saying we also have another shelter we learn to, that during hotness of life and heat of life, we learn and we are sheltered from the heat of hopelessness, stress, and suicidal thought. Number 6, people drink alcohol, substance abuse, immorality. They do immorality, over shopping. Others do over shopping as a temporary shelter that never drives the heat of life. The heat of life we have talked about, like being cheated by a fake person, either in marriage or maybe in business, or problem of life like lack of job, a problem of life that come to us every day. Number 7, there is a true shelter that can shade you despite whatever challenges life you are going through. Life is full of challenges. We need a shelter, an ultimate shelter to keep us covered and going, beating and defeating and traversing all the mountain of life. Mountain of life. There are mountains that come before us. You're the worry. Will I ever beat this mountain? Remember how Joseph was sold to slavery. But God beat that mountain and made him a prime minister. Remember how Daniel realized that in the book of Daniel chapter 6, that my workmate, they were working like King Paris. They were the ruling government advisors. And here his workmate has planned to see him eaten by lions by setting a law to be put, targeting his God, his worship, his true Christianity. Daniel realized this. He went to powerhouse to pray. And Daniel was saved from the lion. It was a mountain that if you don't worship idol, put in a month, you'll be eaten by a lion, you'll be put in the lion. He was sheltered by God. He ran to God. That mountain, you wonder, how can I go over this mountain? The children of Israel in slavery for over 400 years. How can we come out of the might and machinery of Pharaoh? But God delivered them. There are mountains that come to us in life, and God can deliver us if we rely on Him. Number 8, life is full of challenges. We need a shelter, of an ultimate shelter to keep us going. So we have said that. Number 9, it is when we lack this true shelter, we feel hopeless. When we lack shelter of God, we feel hopeless. We feel nothing can cheer us up, and we feel life is meaningless, worthless. We feel worthless. We have suicidal thoughts. Sometimes people have suicidal thoughts. You feel like attacking people who are not giving you heaven or shelter, yet it's God who gives us shelter. The Bible says if you trust in people, they will fail you, even you, your wife, your husband, your children. Many people I will say, I will dedicate my children to help me in the future. They failed to help you. They just keep to themselves. They only come to you when you die and buy expensive coffin and do expensive funeral. There are some children they never help their parents. You are expecting to be helped by your children, but they didn't help you. So people attack people who are there thinking to give them heaven, either even a business mate or a spouse. Others use witchcraft to cover, to use people to cover them instead of God. That's why they are looking for a shelter. Wrong shelter that will never cover them. Others use money and worldly pressure. Jesus say in John 4:14, Isaiah 4:5-6, that if you seek cover in Him, if you seek cover in Jesus as your shelter, He will always shade you from the heat of hopelessness, desire of alcohol, immorality, thought of you can't control. Jesus also repeated the same in Psalm 1:2-3, and we mentioned at the start. He also repeated the same in Jeremiah 17:7-8. He also repeated the same in Matthew 11:28, Psalm 127:2, that God give His people sleep, peace. He give them calmness, peace. Also He repeat in Revelation 3:20. He's knocking at your door to give you heaven. If you open the door of your life, of your mind, of your heart for God, He'll give you heaven you are looking for. That you will keep going if you depend on God and always feel fulfilled during dry season of life, hot season of life, despite the challenges if you rely on God. We finish by quoting the Bible, the book of Matthew 28:11 and John 4:14. Matthew 28:11 says that, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, full of burden of hopelessness, burden of life." Matthew 28:11. "Come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." This rest means peace. This rest means fulfillment of life despite the challenges of life. This rest means satisfaction and contentment in life despite the challenges we go through in life. You know, life is not a bed of roses. It is full of challenges. People say life begins at 40. Life beginning at 40 means is when you are in the time where you have to take responsibility. You're on your own. You're in the jungle of life. You have to take responsibility of your life. You have to make a decision. That's when challenges start. But the Bible says God will give us rest during challenges of life. He'll give us peace, satisfaction, contentment. He repeats the same in John 4:14, that if you trust in Him, this water I give, you will never thirst. It will be a spring of water welling up to heaven. John 4:14. That means if you depend on God, rely on God to drive you. You open your heart, your mind. You pray every day for God to guide you. You cry and broke before God. You depend on God. You practice the Bible and follow it. You always feel life is meaning, purposeful. It is enjoyable despite the challenges of life. Whether your life is good or not, you feel life count and is good. Be blessed as you purpose to depend on Jesus' shelter.